Hello, Lisa here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I am so stoked to be making this video today. This is a video idea that I got from the lovely Jessica Marquardt. She is a member of my channel membership and also has a channel here on YouTube. I will link her channel down below. Please go check it out and subscribe. She gave me the full go ahead to make this video, and basically what happened is that she suggested that it would be really helpful if we made a video, if one of us out here in Tarot Tube land made a video talking about kind of equivalent decks to more expensive, higher priced indie decks. So more affordable options for indie decks that maybe a lot of people are vying for or might be interested in. What are some more affordable mass market alternatives? So what I'm going to be doing in this video is dupes. We're going to be talking about tarot and oracle dupes. Now you can't actually dupe a tarot deck. Like, it's unlike makeup. Makeup dupes are easy, right? Like, you can have a similar formula, a similar color, etc. But this is art, and art is completely individual and 100% subjective. So what I'm trying to do here is not so much duplicate the actual deck, because of course the only way to do that is to buy a counterfeit, and y'all know we are not down for that. Counterfeits hurt the industry, they hurt artists, they fund organized crime. We are not down for counterfeit decks up in here, okay? But we can look for decks that give us a similar feeling. Maybe they have a similar vibe, or maybe they artistically have something in common, or kind of might scratch the itch, as I like to say in my hot takes videos. One of the things that got me really excited about making this video is that when Peggy and I do a say yes to the deck video, whether it's one where I'm trying to pick a deck or where we're helping somebody else try to pick a deck, one of the questions that is always at the very forefront of everybody's minds is, well, what's your budget? Like, how much do you want to spend on a deck right now? Do you want more than one deck for that budget? And so the cost of a deck is obviously going to be one of the #1 considerations if you're getting ready to buy a new tarot or oracle deck. Or maybe you want to ask for one for a gift, but you don't want to ask for that $100 independent deck. You want to ask for something more affordable. If that is sort of what you're interested in, if you want to see some decks that might scratch the itch but are much more readily available, more mass market, free shipping on Amazon, whatever, that's what we're talking about today. So I'm going to be sharing with you some independent decks and some decks that I feel would make wonderful, affordable alternatives in the mass market. So with that said, I'm going to be jumping into it. I will be sharing all prices in US dollars of both the independent and the mass market alternative, and telling you exactly how many dollars, again, US dollars, you'll be saving if you go with the more affordable option. So let's jump into it. The first deck that I want to share is a newer deck to my collection, and it is an independent deck called the Flow Tarot. I love this deck. I think it comes with a really, really lovely guidebook, which I forgot to pull out, but this is what the backings look like of the Flow Tarot. This is an independent deck. It's beautiful photos, titles, and keywords, and it follows the tarot structure. We have some really great alliteration. So wands are waves, cups are clouds, swords are snow, and pentacles are pawns. And then you have the majors. And it's a really well done deck. Because it's photos, I really appreciate that there are key phrases on the cards, because I don't necessarily read this exclusively in a Rider-Waite-Smith style, although it is based on Rider-Waite-Smith. I love the Flow Tarot. It's a very supportive deck. I think it's lovely to look at, but this puppy was expensive. In US dollars, this is $55. That includes shipping if you're in the US, but does not include shipping if you're in Canada or overseas. So for me, I'm pretty sure this cost close to $100, if not over $100 Canadian to bring in. So it was a pricey little deck. Now let's look at a deck that I think would make a great alternative to the Flow Tarot, and that is the Sea Soul Journey Oracle. Now this is an oracle, not a tarot, but to be completely fair, if what you're drawn to about the Flow Tarot is the photos and the key phrases, then this one could make a really, really wonderful alternative. It's in the mass market. It's got beautiful water-based photography and key phrases and keywords right on the cards. So it's just as usable, and usable, in my opinion, in the same way as the Flow Tarot. And this one retails on Amazon right now for $19.95 US dollars. That means that if you go with the Sea Soul Journey Oracle, you're going to save $35.05 US. That's a big chunk of change difference. If it's the vibes you're after, maybe check out the Sea Soul Journey Oracle. The next indie deck that I want to talk about is one I don't own, and it's the Cosmic Cycles Tarot. Y'all, I have been tempted by this deck so many times over the years, and not gonna lie, would not be sad if it landed in my lap. But it is one that I have managed to not buy this entire time, and partly that's because of the price. The Cosmic Cycles Tarot, including shipping to the US, I don't know what shipping to Canada is, I didn't look, is 64 euros and 4 cents, 64.04 euros. That's around $71.05 US. I suggest as an alternative taking a look at the Good Karma Tarot. I've talked about this deck a bunch. It's one of my top picks for beginners. It's wonderful, it's fun, it's brightly colored, it's modern, much like the Cosmic Cycles, but this is much, much more affordable. On Amazon right now, this deck is $22.46 US. That means you're saving $48.59 US to go with this one. Not only is the artwork, I think, vibrant and beautiful and modern and diverse, but it comes with an incredible guidebook, which I did not grab. I'm sorry. The guidebook's really good. It's beginner friendly. It has full color in the inside. It's got spreads. It tells you how to read the tarot. If you're looking for something that is accessible and fun and diverse and kind of almost has this, like, I don't know what you call this art style, kind of cartoony, I guess, kind of comic-y, comic booky. I don't know what you would call this. I freaking love that the Eight of Coins is sewing. Like, this is a fantastic deck. And if you go with this one, $48 less to get this deck versus the Cosmic Cycles. Both decks, incredible. But this Good Karma Tarot totally scratches the itch for me. I don't feel the need to go get the Cosmic Cycles Tarot. I think it's super cute, but this totally does the trick. And I saved 48 some odd dollars US, which again, in Canada more. I'm going to try to shut up about that, y'all, but the dollar right now in Canada is so bad. Anyways, I think this makes a great alternative. All right, y'all, you know we need to talk about it, right? It's the Ritual Tarot. I talked about this being expensive in my hot takes. It's produced, I assume, in small batches. I mean, I have my thoughts about the pricing on this deck. However, I have it now in hand to look at, and at the time I'm filming this, I haven't yet filmed my walkthrough, but I think my walkthrough of this deck will be out before this video, so I'm kind of time traveling right now, which is a little strange. But I will just say, this is the second edition. I really, really like it. I think it's super unique. I think it's super fun. But I'll tell you right now, I didn't spend the coin on this. I didn't. I covered this in my hot takes. I said, wow, that's expensive, and I moved on. While yes, I was sent a copy of this for review and to share with you guys, and I'm excited to get a chance to look at it up close and in person, and I feel very privileged to be in that position. It is not the only game in town when it comes to collage decks, and there's a really, really good one, an oldie but a goodie, as they might say, that's been out in the market for years, is really incredible, is also analog collage that I want to share with you because it is much less. Now, the Ritual Tarot, look at the bag match I have for it, though. It's a whole mood. Anyways, the Ritual Tarot retails for $95 US, and I think a really fantastic alternative is the Voyager Tarot. Now, my version of the Voyager is an older edition, so it looks a little different as far as the borders and such, but it's the same exact artwork. It's just framed differently. The Voyager Tarot, this is what the backings look like on the Voyager Tarot. The Voyager Tarot is also analog collage, and in fact, there is a really wonderful side-by-side comparison of the Ritual Tarot and the Voyager Tarot on a YouTube channel, Jess Reads Cards. I'm going to link that video down below. I encourage you to check it out if you have been really drawn to the Ritual Tarot, but you're like, holy cow, at the price tag, totally get it. Check out Jess's video comparing the two decks in the description box down below and see what you think. This one is really, really well done. It's, again, also analog collage. It's been out in the mass market for years. This deck holds a special place in my heart because the very first tarot reading I ever personally received was from a friend. This was her one and only, her tried and true tarot. This is the deck that she used to give me that reading, and it was a really special experience, and that's actually why I ended up with this. But not only is this just generally a really, really good deck, and it, by the way, comes with a great little white book, but if you do some hunting around, because this has been around so long, you might be able to get your hands on a really inexpensive used copy of this behemoth book. Now, this was a book that I traded with a friend for, but it is, I mean, massive amounts of information. This book, it's called Voyager Tarot, Way of the Great Oracle. It's by James Wanless. This book is, oh my gosh, 300 and some odd pages, 320 plus pages. Huge. If you want to dive into every single card and like everything on the card and like all the different things that it could possibly mean, you can possibly get your hands on this. Now, this book originally retailed for $14.95. I think it's technically out of print. You might be able to get the Kindle version for cheap, or just check around at used bookstores to find a cheap copy of this. Don't spend a ton of money on this, my personal recommendation. But if you can get a copy or you can trade for a copy somewhere, this just takes the Voyager Tarot to the next level. And the Voyager Tarot is full of depth. And if you like the borderless, titleless version or style of analog collage that you get in the Ritual Tarot, just a thought, you could trim these. You could literally just trim the borders off and you would have the same kind of experience, different artwork, different takes on the tarot, hands down, no doubt. These are obviously different decks with different perspectives, but you can really have a similar experience if that's what you're after. So this is one that I think just makes a really wonderful comparison against the other. Now, I haven't spent a ton of time yet with the Ritual Tarot, so I can't say where my feelings as far as which one is better land yet, but don't worry, I will definitely keep y'all posted on how I feel about that. So keep an eye out. But I think that the Voyager Tarot makes a really, really great alternative to the Ritual Tarot. And if you go with the Voyager Tarot over the Ritual Tarot, you will save, oh, sorry, I didn't say the price. The Voyager Tarot right now on Amazon is $25.20 US. And that means that if you buy that one instead of the Ritual Tarot, you're going to save $69.80 US. Now, the next indie deck that I want to talk about is one that I think is really, I think all of these are really, really special indie decks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not somehow saying that these are not worth the spend or anything like that. I love them all. But I mean, at the end of the day, y'all, these are like pieces of paper. They are cardboard, cardstock, ideally, with art on them. Everybody has their own personal budget, their own personal limits on what they want or can or are willing to spend on a tarot or oracle deck. Okay, the next higher priced or indie deck that I want to show you guys is the Goddess on Earth Oracle. I love this deck. Now, I will try to remember to put a few of the cards up in the description so you can check out my walkthroughs of the decks that have walkthroughs on them. This is really beautiful. It's really powerful. And it is all based on goddesses, but it's got this really empowering vibe. So this is what the back's like. It's edged in like this copper color. It's a little bit rose petal-y, but it shuffles like it's a really smooth rose petal and it shuffles really, really well. So I love this deck. I was really wowed by it, not gonna lie. And right now, if you wanted to buy this from the creator, it would cost you $73.50 US, including shipping, to get the Goddess on Earth Oracle. And that's assuming that you don't want the giant, like really big art book. That's an additional expense. Now, that being said, this comes with its own really lovely guidebook right with the deck. And the guidebook that comes with it is all you need. The photo book would be like an extra luxurious treat if you wanted to get that. But this deck reads really well. It's really empowering. It's very much heavy into that goddess, divine feminine sort of energy, and I love it. I really enjoy this deck. I work with it a lot. But my tried and true Goddess Oracle has always been, and probably will always be, the Mass Market Goddess Oracle by Hrana Janto and Sofia Marashinsky. Now this deck, I'm just going to look down at my notes while I show you guys some cards. This deck is really, really gorgeous. It works really well. There are little rituals in the guidebook that you can do and little invocations. And this one retails for $27.16. $27.16. That means that if you go with this Mass Market Goddess Oracle over the Goddess on Earth Oracle, you're saving $46.34 US. 46, that's a whole nother deck. And that's the case with all of the savings on all of these. The difference between indie and Mass Market is broad. And so if you want more decks for the same amount of money, Mass Market's your go-to. But I really think that this is a high quality goddess deck. It has never failed me. This is one of those situations where sometimes the difference between indie and Mass Market is just simple as how thick the cards are or whether they have fancy gilding on them. But the book for this is so good. Look at this book. It's a chunker, and you get these wonderful, really long entries for every card. It is no way skimps out. It's a great deck. It's a tried and true. This has been in print for a long time for a reason. It holds up and it stands the test of time, and I definitely recommend this Oracle. If you're just looking for a really good Goddess Oracle, this is a great one, and it's super affordable. Next up is a deck that I rehomed, the Weaver's Oracle. I think I definitely purchased the Weaver's Oracle from the hype. And that being said, because it gets shown a lot on YouTube, tarot YouTube videos, it is a very, very deep, archetypal style deck, and it's really incredible. The art is good, the cardstock quality is good, the rich stories and meaning in the guidebook, it's all incredible. It's everything that you have heard that it is. But that doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody, and it didn't end up working for me. Now, that said, I got a lot of value out of it. It's not like it was an ineffective deck in general. It's just that it wasn't quite for me. It felt like it spoke a little over my head at times. And so for me, that wasn't the deck that ultimately was going to stay in my collection, regardless of how much I spent on it. And speaking of the price, the Weaver's Oracle is £70 sterling, including shipping, which is about 87 US dollars. It is £70 sterling, including shipping to the US, which is about $87 US, 87 US dollars for this deck. Now, a deck that I am really, really enjoying working with right now, and I think totally scratches the itch for me personally, is the Sacred Hags Oracle. This is the Danielle Dulski Mass Market Oracle. Now, I modified my deck because I really wanted keywords on it, but I don't know that I really needed to because I enjoy using this with the book, just like I used the Weaver's Oracle with the book. So I added keywords with gold Sharpie on the top here. So if you see that, that's my modification. This is a mass market deck that I almost didn't buy. I wasn't sure about the art style, but something about it kept calling to me, and it has turned out to be my perfect Weaver's Oracle alternative. It gives me that crone, hag, old lady, old lady. It gives me that stage of life. It's giving me wisdom. It's giving me all of the vibes that I was getting from the Weaver's Oracle. And more than that, the guidebook is just, it's everything. So you get this really great guidebook. And in the guidebook, you get, and this is the thing I've been really loving about this, it's so usable. It's so intensely usable and guided, and that is the thing I've been really enjoying about this. You get a really beautifully worded section for each card that says Grandmother Speaks. Okay, so you get a Grandmother Speaks section, and it's written in Danielle Dulski's very flowery writing style, which gives you a lot of the vibes that I got from the Weaver's Oracle, at least in my experience. And then you get a morning and a morning ritual and a moonlight ritual that you can do with the energy of this card. This has been so profound. I have been keeping this deck by my bed and doing the evening ritual and reading, like pulling a card, doing the evening ritual, and then waking up in the morning and referring to the book again and doing the morning ritual. I'm getting so much out of this, so much more than I got out of the Weaver's Oracle, which is not to say the Weaver's Oracle isn't incredible. It is, but like this is so good and it's so stinking affordable. Now the cards are nothing special cardstock wise. They're a little glossy. They come in a split weird packaging thing, but this deck is $33.28 US. As opposed to the 87 US dollars to get the Weaver's Oracle. That means that if you get this deck, you save $53.72 US. $53.72. And this is so good. It's so good. So I think a lot of these decisions for you will come down to, of course, your budget, but then also what are you trying to get out of the deck? Is it a practice? Is it that specific art? Is it a function? Like what is it that that deck is going to do for you? Because that's what I'm trying to highlight in this video, is that there could be decks that do the same kind of job, but that are much more affordable. The next one is a deck y'all just recently saw in action when Peggy did a reading for us with it, and it is the Pastel Unicorn Tarot. This was such an indulgent purchase for me. Y'all, I got it because it's unicorns. And to be fair, it was actually Kim at Fables Den who talked me into this. Like, not me personally. Like, I went to Kim's video. She was talking about this deck, and I was like, apparently I need to buy it now. This is so cute. It's kawaii. I'm pretty sure it shipped from, like, Japan or something. Like, it definitely shipped from overseas. I'm pretty sure it was Japan. It was not cheap, okay? It's really sweet. It's pastel. It's got, like, lots of, like, food and just sweet things on the cards. Again, it was a very indulgent purchase for me. The cardstock is lovely. That's what the backs look like. The cardstock is lovely. We saw Peggy read with it, so we know it reads good. And, you know, it's a great little deck, not gonna lie. But the price on this deck, this costs 83 US dollars, including shipping to the US. 83 US dollars. Now, you get a little guidebook that is in two, I believe, I'm not going to guess at the language. I want to say Japanese, but that could be wrong. It's got English and another language in the guidebook. So just little write-ups. It's nothing, you know, out of this world. It's just pretty. It's just pretty, and it's got unicorns on it, and I wanted it. Okay, so that's how this came home with me. But there is a really, really affordable deck that I think has a lot of these same vibes. And it's the Kawaii Tarot. Now, to be fair, I had to haul out of my purgatory drawer. This is a fantastic deck. I personally found it a little bit busy. But when you come down to the aesthetics of both of these decks, the Pastel Unicorn and the Kawaii, they're very, very, very similar. I really love the chubby unicorns in this deck. This may have to come back into my... We'll see. I mean, we'll see if this ever actually leaves me. But it comes in like a sturdy little box. Nothing super fancy. This is what the backings look like. Again, the cardstock, nothing to write home about. It's fine. It's got a lot of fun critters. It's, again, very kawaii, very cute, very fun. I actually have a coloring book by this artist, Lulu Mayo, actually. Now this one, if you want to buy it, will cost you $18.03 US, 1803 US right now. That means if you buy this instead of the Pastel Unicorn Tarot, you're saving $64.97. That makes this one almost as big of a savings as the Ritual Tarot versus the Voyager Tarot. Quite the savings. Quite the savings. So the Kawaii Tarot, I mean, this is, like, seriously, am I ever going to be able to actually get rid of this deck? I don't know. I don't know. I do really like it. I gotta admit, I really like it. But I wasn't reaching for this when this was not in Purgatory, just because I feel like the cards have a lot going on. But they're no less busy, honestly, or they're no more busy, honestly, than the Pastel Unicorn Tarot. So, I mean, I don't know. Make it make sense. Okay, next up is another deck that I have rehomed, the Astro Soul Oracle. This is an aesthetically beautiful astrology deck. It's got these rich blue backgrounds and these like gold foil metallic-y accents. It's stunning. The guidebook is incredibly well done with great astrological information in it. You cannot go wrong. It's gorgeous. It's also $84 US, including shipping to the US. $84. Now, the astrology deck that has actually managed to be my ride or die, like my go-to, is the Heavenly Bodies astrology. I love this deck, and this is mass market. It comes in a really nice 2-piece box. The cardstock is, it reminds me a lot of the Woodland Wardens cardstock, so if you know what that's like, maybe a little smoother, it's possible. This is what the backings look like. Really soft. You get cards for the planets, for the signs, for the houses, for major aspects. You also get, like, obviously sun and moon. I guess those are planets, you know. Works really, really well. I'm using this for the Deck and Walk with Marlena Teresa at the moment. Now, this deck retails for $31.84 US. So the Heavenly Bodies Oracle, if you buy this instead of Astro Soul, you're saving $52.16 US. So this is one that I feel like dupes the vibes as far as being aesthetically beautiful. I think it would photograph really well if you want it for like Instagram or something. I feel like it photographs really well. It's matte cardstock. It's beautiful. And it comes with a really nice like little hardbound book with like a built-in ribbon bookmark. Gorgeous artwork. Lots of information in the book. Really accessible astrology information. Lots less money. So that could be a really great option if you're looking for a good tried and true astrology deck. There are so many astrology decks that could have come in here to dupe for the Astro Soul. All of the decks I'm sharing with you guys today are gorgeous, usable, good, high quality decks. I have no complaints with any of them as far as just general quality. But there's just big price gaps between whether, you know, if you're looking at independent versus mass market. This last one is a gorgeous... I love this deck. This last one is a dragon deck. It is the Smoke, Ash, and Ember deck by, or Embers? Is it Ember or Embers? Does anybody ever remember? Because I never remember. That all rhymed, but you know. Anyways, the Smoke, Ash, and Embers deck by Three Trees Tarot. That is Stephanie Burrows and Adam Ohlers. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I love the white borders. I love the elemental dragons. Love, 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 love. Now, US dollars to buy the Smoke, Ash, and Embers is £58.50 pounds sterling, including shipping, which is about $75.74 US. Ships from overseas. Makes sense, right? So the shipping is a factor. That is how much this costs to bring in. Now, again, personal opinion, well worth it, but that's subjective, right? That's subjective depending on your experience, your budget, etc. And I'm such a sucker for all of Three Trees Tarot stuff, to be completely fair. Huge fan. But there are other dragon decks. And in fact, there's a really beautiful one that I came close to almost buying. And it's in the mass market called the Tarot of Dragons. Look how pretty. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so colorful. And this one costs $31.99 US today, at the time I'm filming, on Amazon. Now, I did all the Amazon prices because if you have Prime shipping, then it ships for free, right? I don't know if it ships for free if you don't have Prime. I think it still does, but you just have to wait longer. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, $31.99. So if you go with the Tarot of Dragons over the Smoke, Ash, and Embers, you will save $43.75. Okay, so just for funsies, let's say you wanted one deck for each of these comparisons that I just shared with you. So you were going to buy one of the two regardless. And let's say for the sake of the argument that you bought the more affordable version for every single one of the options that I showed you. Your overall savings over what you would have spent by buying the more expensive version is $349.41 US. That's how much of a savings in total we just went over for 8 different decks. So you would have saved almost $350 US across 8 different decks. Holy moly, right? So a couple of thoughts to close out this video. First, I would love to do this again. So if you enjoyed this video, please comment down below, let me know, and I will try to plan another one of these for the future. I also just want to say that I appreciate and love all of the decks that I showed, and I'm very blessed to be in a position where I can pretty much get the decks that I want when I want. I buy a lot of the decks that I show you on the channel myself with my own money because this is a love and a passion of mine. I also just wanted to briefly talk about the difference between independent decks and mass market decks. Mass market decks are called mass market because they're purchased in a much higher quantity, which brings the cost per unit down significantly and allows the publishers to release these decks to the public at a really affordable price. A lot of that comes from having the buying power of being able to reasonably purchase a high volume, maybe 10,000 decks at a time. Whereas independent publishers, independent deck creators are lucky to be able to print 500 or 1,000 decks at a time. And that's if they have a very successful Kickstarter campaign. The buying power is just so much less. And one thing that kind of surprised me putting this video together is a deck that I know to be very high priced, like the Ritual Tarot, which includes free US shipping, is actually pretty similar in price to decks I didn't even blink about the price, like the Pastel Unicorn Tarot, which is literally only $10 cheaper US when you factor in shipping to the US. So I think sometimes it can be kind of subjective which decks give us sticker shock. And I also think that there's a psychology behind creators who build the shipping into their price and who charge shipping in addition. And me being in Canada, I always pay shipping in addition, with very rare exception if I am buying an independent deck. A deck like the Ritual Tarot, while it has free shipping within the US, would have cost me an additional $30 to bring it in. And about $30 is what I pay shipping on almost every independent deck I purchase. So a lot of these experiences around prices and what something costs to bring in is going to vary wildly depending on where you are in the world. That is one of the reasons why companies like Amazon really make things more affordable for those of us who just that shipping cost alone can be a huge deterrent to being able to bring things in. So just to kind of speak about the differences a little, I think that what happens with independent creators versus mass market also is that indie creators, because they care so deeply about the product that they want to put out, and cost to customer is not always the #1 factor, they put a lot of love into things like production quality. This is why we're starting to see higher quality in mass market, because the independent market has pushed things forward like sturdy boxes and good guidebooks and better cardstock. And those things are now filtering over into the mass market, which is of course driving up costs in the mass market as well. So there's give and take and good and bad in all of this. But I just kind of wanted to say that there is a huge difference in what we can sell something for as an independent creator versus a mass market publisher. And that's just something I've accepted as a reality for a long time. But I wanted to point out in this video that there are options, that we can pick things that we can purchase things that give us a similar feeling or that we can work with in a similar way and be just as satisfied, if not more. Some of the picks I showed you today, like the Good Karma Tarot, that totally scratches the itch, and in no way do I think it's a lesser deck than the Cosmic Cycles Tarot. The same is true of the Goddess Oracle versus the Goddess on Earth Oracle. Those are both high quality decks, well thought out, really meaty, substantial guidebooks, and just good decks overall. I tried to really highlight in this video that we can get similar quality out of our practice from things at various price points. So in any case, those are my thoughts on indie versus mass market and on duping decks. Again, if you enjoyed this process, if you enjoyed seeing me dupe decks, please comment below. Let me know what you thought of this video, and if you'd like to see more like this, I will try to plan those into my content if so. Be aware that future duping videos, I only have so many decks in my collection to show you, so some we might focus more on just looking at stuff image-wise together, some I might have physical decks to show. But hopefully we can continue to play around with this idea because this was a lot of fun. So thank you so much. And until the next video, may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye.